international level, and also it's actually in our Sharia that when you give charity, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that one of the first people who have a right on you are your neighbors. And your neighbors can be from whatever ethnicity, whatever faith, whatever color, whatever creed, they have a right on you. And alhamdulillah, in September, Islamic Relief donated over $100,000 to Detroit, Michigan for a very, very crucial project that they had a shortage in the water supply. And Detroit is actually one of the most suffering cities, and Michigan is one of the most suffering states of this country. And many in Washington have kept a blind eye towards Detroit, but alhamdulillah, Islamic Relief was able to act upon their Islamic duty and their humanity duty to help the people of Detroit regardless of their faith. And I acknowledge Islamic Relief for doing so. And alhamdulillah, may Allah give them the success. And actually, quite frankly, sometimes we say, may Allah give them the success, may Allah give us the success, and the tawfiq and the courage, because they can't do it alone. This is something that Islamic Relief hasn't been able to do alone. That they have always needed the support of the community, of every single person that's sitting in this room and beyond, to help Islamic Relief. And this project that we're speaking about today is another crucial project. And it hits home to many of us. I think maybe 80%, 90% of the audience here are from Afghanistan. And it hits home to us. And, you know, like Brother Mirwais said, that 30 years, our nation has been suffering. 30 years. We've been suffering from the devastations of war and the shahada and the martyrs, and then leaving behind the orphans that are numerous, and it's actually multiplying every day. This year has been the most devastating year in Afghanistan as far as violence and instability go. And in fact, this actually, in turn, does a lot of effect on the economy of the country, on the social and the political system of the country, and on the lives of people, of Afghans like you and I. So Islamic Relief is working on a project that is extremely important, not only on a humanitarian point of view, but for us as Afghans, that how important it is to become active alongside with Islamic Relief. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that when the Muslims are like a single body, that when one part of the body hurts and it's in pain, the rest of the body responds with fever and with care and help. That when you have your arm that's broken, you don't chop that arm off. Your left arm and hand does much more work, does twice or 3 times the work to make up for what your right arm can't do. And today, our arms, our legs in Afghanistan are in devastating need, that we need support, because we are blessed here. And yeah, we could be struggling as well, alhamdulillah. I mean, but we are blessed. You are not sitting in this majlis tonight, God forbid, thinking that there might be an explosion happening this evening. But in Afghanistan, that's a reality. In Afghanistan, that's a fact. You could be sitting here in a majlis just like this in Kabul, or inside your school, and you have a chance of dying, which we all have a chance of dying, but dying from a violent action. So this is the state of our people in Afghanistan today. And this is where Islamic Relief comes into play. They did a lot in Jurm, in Badakhshan, when the great earthquake happened, with thousands, tens of thousands of Afghans died, and many of them did not have drinking water. And alhamdulillah, Islamic Relief, along with other organizations, but the biggest impact was made by Islamic Relief. And sponsoring, and I'll tell you this, I have to disagree with one thing. I hope you forgive me, Brother Mirwais. With Brother Mirwais about saying there's a lot of negativity coming, but I'll tell you this, and I can attest to it, that given the opportunity, given the encouragement, great things have came out of Afghanistan. Great things will come out of Afghanistan. Rumi, many of you know by his poets, Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi al-Balkhi. Where was he from? Where was Hafiz? Where was he from? Tonight you guys are calling it a night of poetry and a night of culture. Where were these men from? They were from Afghanistan. They were Afghans. You see, that region, the greater Khorasan, produced some of the greatest minds. Ibn Sina, Avicenna, and Latinized, who's a father of modern day medicine. That up to the 19th century, they were teaching the manuscripts of Qanun al-Tib, or the canon of medicine and medical schools in Eastern Europe. Those are the men that came from our region. Al-Khwarizmi, which is Latinized to algorithmi, or algorithm, where algorithm is right. Every single one of you, and I'm sure 99% of you have smartphones in your pocket. Every single one of those smartphones would be unable to do anything without an algorithm allowing it and telling it what to do, or any computer, or your GPS systems in your car, or some of these cameras as well. Where did these algorithms come from? Al-Khwarizmi, who came from that region. So great things have came out of Afghanistan. Great things will come out when you have the opportunity. When you're in fear of your life, when you don't know how to provide for your family, how to provide for your children, when that child becomes the head of the household at 11 years old, mom is dead, father is dead, uncles are dead, whether it's an airstrike or a suicide bomber or whatever it may be, they become the head of their household. What do you expect from that child unless just to take care of their own? This is a situation in Afghanistan. But we can make a difference. You sponsoring these children. Outside of Islamic Relief, there's another orphanage that I've worked with in Afghanistan, in Kabul. And I went to that orphanage in my recent trip, which was just about 7 months ago. And I saw a young kid, his name was Atiqullah, orphan, and but extremely smart. So that orphanage, alhamdulillah, had maybe about 7, 8 computers, although it's not as much as they should be having. But he actually wrote a program for the orphanage that takes care of an Excel formatted program that takes care of all the expenses, all the salaries, and every thing that the orphanage needs. He actually wrote that program himself, and he's probably 8 or 9 years old. Opportunity. He was given the opportunity. Alhamdulillah, he has the intelligence. And this is where we are today with Islamic Relief, to give that Afghan child the future Rumi, the future Al-Khwarizmi, the future Ibn Sina, the future Jamaluddin Afghani, to come about. Some of the greatest Sufi tariqas have came from there. Naqshbandi, Chishti, Suharwardiya. Alhamdulillah, some of the greatest things have come out of Afghanistan. We just have to expose it and shed light to it and be able to amplify it and excel it. And as we all know, that famous quote, the hand that rocks the cradle moves the world. And that's the second program that they have. That when the women of Afghanistan are educated, that when the women of Afghanistan have the knowledge to raise a child, I always recall the saying of Alexander the Great, Sikandar Kabir, saying that he wrote to his mom back in Greece and said, "Mom," he said, you raised one Alexander. I came to a country that every mother has raised an Alexander. That's Afghanistan. And I'm not kidding with you. Go Google it. You'll find it, yeah. That's Afghanistan. Give them the opportunity. And those kids are nurses. And those kids really need this, inshallah. I think we can deliver. And yeah, it's a responsibility. I think when it comes to trials and tribulations, there also is an opportunity. trials and tribulations amongst our people is an opportunity for us. It's an opportunity for you to do something for them. They're facing that difficulty, but that difficulty allows you to excel in your humanity, excel in your faith, excel in the dignity that you have as human beings and as Muslims to deliver, to give. This is an opportunity. You are sitting here, you're actually taking part in an act of worship. This is an act of worship. You're worshiping Allah by hearing and listening to the plight of your people, or the plight of any people who are suffering. This isn't based on, I'm not just making this is based on Sahih. That when you listen and reflect on what's happening to the Ummah, it's better than the whole world and what it contains. This is muttafaq alayh. You are actively participating. And I'll tell you this, everything needs purification. Everything needs sanctifying. And the Quran says when you give charity, you're sanctifying your wealth. You're purifying your wealth. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam took an oath. He said, when you give charity, you will never diminish your wealth. Your wealth will never be diminished. Your blessings will come. We are people who believe in blessings. We believe in barakah. Let's not forget the essence of barakah, that when you give, barakah will come back. And wallahi, I've seen this happen multitudes of times. Barakah will come back, but give. But give with love. Don't give just because they are fun. No. Don't give just because, give because you want to give. Give if there is anything that they're passing out, thank the person who's passing it out. Before they thank you for giving a charity, you thank them for giving you an opportunity to give. Thank them. Take that with a smile and give back with a smile. Because Allah will reward you more so, inshallah. And the harsh climate, like Brother Mirwais has described, we all know. The climate of Kabul alone is the highest capital city in the world. Highest elevated capital city in the world is Kabul. And this is an example of the terrain of Afghanistan. And it's one of the coldest and one of the harshest winters, sub-zero temperatures that we will be seeing this winter. And many people, of course we have an elite class that, have mansions and what have you, but you can't count on them, unfortunately. But we can count on each other here, alhamdulillah, to do what we can, to be able to, when we shiver, maybe many of us in California are shivering this winter, but brothers and sisters in New York can probably attest to that. So when we shiver, reflect on that person that at least you have that blanket. You have that heater to put up. You have the opportunity to make yourself warm versus those people who actually have virtually nothing in the streets. May Allah reward every single one of you for being here, your audacity, the organizers of this event, beautiful brothers and sisters with beautiful hearts that they've volunteered their time, they've volunteered their efforts to come and bring this for you. May Allah bless you for coming here. You have taken a very audacity step towards this, and may Allah reward you, and may Allah guide our hearts, our minds, and may Allah increase that love for one another, inshallah. وقال هذا استغفر الله العظيم